about man.
Yes.
Before we went live with Honest Bunch, as you were catching up and and you told the story of how your mom used to be so strict, and you went to eat ice cream, and your mom flogged you, and you were in the church from when you were 13. How do you still manage and get pregnant?
My brother, you know, sometimes at that age, you are just fulfilling law righteousness to work register in church. For me.
Hey.
Right? I was fulfilling all right. You know, it's not like at 13, so as a child...
how old were you when you got pregnant?
I was 16. No, I was 17.
Okay.
Yeah. I got
That's about the age 17. When I started. I was just lucky. Continue.
I was 17. And at that time, I had a relationship with God, with Christ. I did. But, you know, I was also young and I enjoyed certain things a little bit too much, I guess. I don't know. How do people get pregnant? You know? So
it wasn't like a one-off, a mistake. It was something you enjoyed.
So it was my boyfriend at the time, right? And I already knew that if anything like that, it was something that we had discussed, because I remember that he told me that one of his close friends died from getting an abortion. So it was something, I never thought that I will be a mother at that age. But when it happened, I didn't tell my mom till about 5 months, because I sat down and I made sure that in that 5 months I cleaned the house, I did everything so that you will not be looking at me and say,
wait, so how for 5 months your mom did not know you were pregnant?
She didn't know.
I want you to run through the emotions when you missed your first period. Let's start from there.
I started panicking, of course. I started panicking.
You called the guy?
No, I didn't at the time. Yeah, I didn't at the time, you know, you understand? Like, because in my mind, I was a young girl. So at first, that's not where your mind is going. Do you understand? And then by the time I realized what was happening, I had called him and I told him, I said, listen, this is what is going on. And you know my stance. And he was like, yeah, sure, I know your stance. And we were good. We're like, okay. And that was it. So one morning devotion, and I've told the story before, we had morning devotion. My mom had been looking at me some type of way, but I was able to finesse my way around it. So sometimes she would ask me, she said, are you okay? I say, yes, mom, I'm okay. But that's when I would cook, I would do everything. So one day after morning devotion, my mom was getting ready to go to work. I called her and sat her down. I said, Mom, I want to tell you something. She said, what's it? I'm pregnant. She kept quiet. And I said, and I don't want to take the baby out. She said, she didn't say anything again. She said, go and sleep. Because I wasn't in school at the time. So when everybody goes to school, my younger brothers go to school, she goes to work, I have the house to myself. So most times I'll go back to sleep after cleaning and all that. We didn't have housekeepers at the time, and Ami, they do everything. So she said, okay, go and sleep. So I went back to bed. By the time my brothers woke up, rather got ready for school and they were about to leave, I would usually wake up or she would call me to lock the door. But I noticed that my mom still sat in the same position. She didn't move. That's when I understood the gravity of what I had done. Do you understand? And I think at that time, and God bless my mom, because till date, my mother never raised her voice, shouted, you are a disgrace. You are, till date, no. Immediately, she called her older sister. Her older sister came to Benin. Her older sister used to live in Enugu. Her older sister came to Benin. As her older sister came, she bought baby things. Wow. My grandmom moved in with us for a while to kind of take care of me because it was a bit difficult. I was young and it was a difficult pregnancy at the time. And that's where we are. She never said anything.
What happened to your relationship with the guy?
He died the minute I said, this is what I'm going to do. So he was like, okay.
But I'm not going to do it with you.
No, so that wasn't so I think he got cold feet, right? Because initially we agreed. But parents will be parents. My mom knew who he was because he would come to our house, he would see, would chill, would laugh. You understand? My mom wasn't the kind of person that, if you're dating her, she'll be shouting from the gate, get out of there! Hey, Bele, who is that? Who is that? No. All my friends came to the house. I was not that kind of child who, do you understand? So the only thing is, and which is what I try to do with young people now, right? Especially when you have come to the age of, noticing changes in your body and being curious with sex and all that. You understand? I rather have you talk to me because I never had those conversations with my mom, right? My mom was very open to my friends, loving my friends, but sex wasn't a conversation my mom and I ever had, except when I started menstruating. You know, the same motherly, okay, this is what your body is doing now. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. If you do this, you understand. And coming from a Christian background, you know you shouldn't have sex before marriage, if that makes any sense, you know. So I'm trying to remember. I lost my train of thought. What brought us here?
The guy.
Oh, yes. So him. So at the time, my mom had gone to his family and said, okay, so your son and my daughter, and now this is where they are. And the dad called him and asked him. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But the story that my mom told me was that his father too was a bit harsh with how he accepted, you know, how he took in the whole situation. And he was like, no, it's not him. No, he's not. You understand? So it was his word against mine. And trust my mother to be the most beautiful, amazing woman that I've ever met and know. And she was just like, okay, so it's not you, Abby? Say yes. Okay, so know that if it's not you, because, you know, in Igbo land, I think when a child is born out of wedlock, the family automatically adopts
the child.
Yes. So she's like, okay, the child is mine now. And that's how it.
And over the years, did he reach out to the child?
Oh yes, in 2000 and so even before then, rewind back, my mom and his mom, right? They've been having conversations and I wasn't even aware of it. So my mom and his mom, you know, one family will always know one family that will always know one family and know one family. So they were kind of cordial and having conversations. But at some point he came back and he was like, I was young. I wasn't quite, you understand? Mm-hmm. I want to meet my daughter. His best friend, coincidental, shout out to Uncle Maya Tafo, who is my big brother. Uncle Maya Tafo's wife is his best friend's sibling.
Okay.
So, and Uncle Maya Tafo is from my village. And he's my big cousin in my village. So all this time, Uncle Mai was dragging in and saying, you know, they're shame. You know, like doing the groundwork. So his best friend came to see me, I think 2014, I can't remember. And, you know, he was just like, he lives in Canada. And he was like, well, sorry, Vivian, we understand where we are, but this child needs to know who her dad is. And at the time, I never said anything wrong to my daughter. I didn't say your father is this, your father is that. I don't believe in those things. You understand? Life would, if you are great, life will show you. If you're not great, life will play out for you. So, so he was like, yeah, she needs to meet her father. And I was like, okay. Initially, I kicked against it. And my kicking against it wasn't from a place of bitterness because I was in a great relationship at the time. It was from a place of, you know, and sometimes I see these things on social media and people have, it's so unfair how people have opinions without really knowing the true story. Many times when fathers are protecting or mothers are protecting their child, if they're single parents, from who the other parent is, it's because you already know that this person is not stable. This person can come and destabilize the life of the child. You can show up as a dad for 3 years and next thing the child is asking, where's my dad? You can show up as a mom for a few months and next thing the child is asking again, where's my mom? And it's so unfair to do that to a child. Do you understand? It don't even make it about me. But if you're going to claim your child or however the word to use, you have to be sure that you can follow through. So that was where I was. I was already a girl in my 30s. I had sense. I knew that this is not what I wanted for my child. I didn't want to introduce my child to her dad and then fears down the line. So I was just like, you know what? I kicked against it. But my mom and family, they were like, no, this is not how you do things. You know, for the sake of the child, you have to. So I said, okay. So I went, I had a show in LA and So I decided to take her along. So she meets her dad because he lives in America. So we went, she met her dad for the first time. They kicked off they became friends every day while I was in LA. They would go shopping and, it was great to see her first iPhone. I think he got it okay, she said I did. Okay, sorry, my daughter is backstage, so she's reminding me. But yeah, he
made up for.
He tried to make up in the way to me at the time. You understand? But I had demands, and
they were.
If the dream of every mother is for your child to have a better life than you had.
Yeah.
That's the dream of every father too. Everything, even backstage just before we started talking and you were telling me about your children and some of the bands you guys have at home. You don't want your children to go through what you've gone through. Then why did you go through it? Do you understand? I don't believe in that thing of, I get you too, you should suffer. Then why did you go through it? If even the people in the Bible, if Abraham and the rest of them could leave an inheritance for their children, then please keep it in the fridge if you're not going to. You understand? That's my opinion. So at the time, I had always said that my daughter would get the best education that I can afford. And the reason why, it wasn't necessarily because of the certification, but because in my mind, I needed to expose her to a certain type of audience because I know the things, I know what my battles were growing up. I know how difficult it was to even sell myself as a brand, you understand? Or what my name did to me negatively and positively because of a few mistakes that my parents or my dad made, and how that followed me and my brothers till we had to prove ourselves because maybe you go don't quarrel, maybe my papa don't dupe you. And then because of my papa don't dupe you, when they now call say what's there, I say na hero base, say I know they touch that family. Things like that. People don't think People don't think. They just see you are just living in the moment. No, I have to be the one. You don't know that 1-2 steps, you destroy the life of your child. That child has to now spend, you now be calling sins of your father. Which sins of your father? The sin of your father was a mistake he made with his name. It can take you 2 days to destroy your name and take you 50 years to clean it out. So I told him, you're a citizen, file for your child. You can't even file for, I don't really care. You understand? But I wanted her to get the best education. And the conversation at the time was, okay, so would, do a DNA test and do all of that, So he now said...
Did you do that?
So I'm getting to that. So he asked me to send him her hair. I said, no, that's not how it's done. We will choose the place and we will all send what we need to send because it's not like you and I are best friends. We talk cordially based on, and so that was it. And he agreed, and I waited and I never heard from him. I waited and I never heard from him. And 9 months, she would call and she, from this was 2015, 2016, 2017, he just kept on. He was still having conversations, and I'll remind him how far this our conversation. Yeah, Viv, we'll do it. And he just kept on dragging, and she turned 18, and you can't file for a child at 18. So I was mad because now she's getting into university. And I decided that I wanted my daughter to get the best education. So she went to Middlesex University. I was paying school fees in dollars. So I diverse. Because as I paid in dollars, you can't be calling me and telling me, oh, yeah, Viv, I want to send $200. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, are you kidding me? We could have avoided all of this. Do you understand? So that was where. So for me, at that point, it was your father, your relationship with him. I'm not even. You want to talk to your daughter? Here's her number. However you are handling, it's not my business.
Did she eventually get her citizenship?
No.